When you're trying to scale your brand, you don't have time to become a textile engineering expert. But when buying apparel, you do have to choose between screen printing versus DTG print methods. But what's DTG, I hear you ask? Well, here's a breakdown of how these two methods, also known as decorations, stack up on cost, durability, and color accuracy, so you can buy with confidence. Let's start with the golden rule used by professional printers. If you're ordering between 1 and 5 shirts, and your design has a lot of gradients, shading, or photographic colors, direct-to-garment or DTG is your best decoration option. However, if you're ordering a bulk run of 6 or more shirts with a simple design using only 1 or 2 flat colors, screen printing is going to save you a massive amount of money. Now let's unpack exactly how these two methods work mechanically, so you don't get hit with a huge setup fee or unexpected cracking after the first wash. To understand screen printing, think of it as a physical stencil system. A print technician creates a reusable stencil or screen for every distinct color in your logo. Heavy, opaque ink is then pushed through these stencils directly onto the fabric. Because this process applies a physically thick layer of ink directly on top of the fibers, screen printing delivers unmatched color intensity. It's vibrant, completely opaque, and easily covers dark fabrics without letting the shirt's background color bleed through. Direct-to-garment, or DTG, completely deletes the physical setup process. Think of a DTG machine exactly like the printer sitting on your office desk, but engineered for textiles. The machine sprays a full spectrum of ink colors directly onto the cotton fibers. DTG handles complex artwork easily. If your business logo features photography, color gradients, watercolor textures, or intricate shading, DTG can replicate those transitions perfectly. The biggest advantage here is that there are 0 physical screens to build. That means there are no setup fees. Whether you print 1 shirt or 20 shirts, the machine prep time is exactly the same, making it the gold standard for low minimum runs, quick prototypes, or custom stuff shirts where everyone gets their own name printed on the front. Okay, let's talk about the math behind your order total, because understanding how these cost structures scale is how you protect your bottom line. With screen printing, you pay a steep upfront investment to cover those physical screen setups. But once those screens are locked onto the press, the marginal cost to print each additional shirt drops dramatically. The machine can run incredibly fast and the ink itself is highly cost effective. As a result, your price per shirt plummets as your order volume increases. If you order 50 shirts for a local community event or a large uniform rollout, screen printing becomes incredibly cheap per unit. DTG, on the other hand, operates on a completely flat cost structure. A DTG shirt will cost you roughly the same unit price whether you buy 1 or 100. Durability is a major consideration for business owners. There's nothing worse than pulling your brand new apparel out of its first wash cycle, only to see the design cracking, peeling, or fading into a dull grey. Preventing this comes down to matching your fabric structure to the correct printing machine. DTG uses water-based ink that needs to soak into natural organic fibers. This means DTG prints are only crisp and permanent on 100% cotton garments. If you try printing DTG onto a synthetic fabric like polyester, the ink can't bind, leading to a patchy, faded print that washes out almost immediately. Screen printing, however, uses a thick ink that sits on top of the material, which means it works beautifully across garments like heavy polyester blends, fleece hoodies, and nylon jackets. To prevent screen prints from cracking, the ink must be fully cured with heat in a commercial dryer. As a buyer, your best defense against cracking is simply choosing garments with a tight, dense weave and following your trusty tag advice, such as washing them inside out in cold water. Before you hit upload in the design studio, you need to format your digital assets correctly, or the system will flag your file, or worse, print a blurry mess. First, your file must have a minimum resolution of 300 dpi. If you grab a low-res 72 dpi logo from your website and stretch it across the chest print, the Print Studio software will throw a low-resolution error block because stretching that file will create jagged, pixelated edges on the final garment. Second, for screen printing, you should ideally submit vector files such as Adobe Illustrator, EPS, or Vector PDF. For DTG printing, you can use pixel-based raster images, but you must export your file as a transparent PNG. Alrighty, let's run through a quick final checklist to make your next order completely seamless. Choose screen printing if you're ordering a bulk run of 6 or more garments, if your design uses 1 to 3 solid, distinct colors with no gradients, if you're printing on synthetic blends, or if you want specialty finishes like metallic, foil, or raised puff style inks. Choose DTG if you only need a small batch of 1 to 5 shirts, if your logo features highly complex colors, photo elements, or detailed shading, if you're printing on 100% cotton or high cotton face fabrics, or if you just want a soft, lightweight print feel where the ink blends into the shirt. By matching your order size and logo complexity to the right printing decoration, you can protect your budget while ensuring your team looks perfecto. And if you're ready to tee up your next apparel run, check out VistaPrint's clothing range.